super excited to be here, first time at NOAH, and super excited to talk to you about one of the new categories of software solution that we're seeing emerging, which we call the system of agreement. But before we do that, a few words on DocuSign. So DocuSign, we've been around for 15 years. We have more than several hundreds millions of users in basically every single country of the world, and 500,000 of paying customers. Only business who are sending contracts, sending agreements, actually paying, so the signer doesn't pay. And we had an important milestone earlier this year in May where we got public, and so we're now listed publicly on the NASDAQ. As for myself, my name is Olivier. I lead the product development for international growth, which for DocuSign is everything outside of North America. So, system of agreement. What are the agreements? Basically, every single business, whether you label it this way, you have a system of agreement. You run an agreement with every single of your stakeholders. Your customers, obviously, but also your partners, your employees. And we have no shortage of use case. Every single department in your organization have agreement. So you may not label it this way, you may not organize around it, but you have a system of agreement. And so why does it matter? Why is it important? Why is it important now? So if we go back a little bit in time, 30 years ago, every single company, they were focusing on implementing what we call system of records. It was basically about capturing data and optimizing internal processes, CRM, ERP, human resources, but was very internally focused. Didn't change much for the customer experience. And in the past 10 years now, we've seen every single company basically focusing on system of engagement. What that means is everything they have to do that is customer-facing, that is exposing the system outside of the enterprise for their customers, their employees, their partners. It's their mobile app, it's their portal, it's across all of the channels. So basically, when you're doing a business, you're spending a lot of money now trying to capture prospect, trying to build the best mobile app, and bringing people to your system. The challenge is that sometimes you have a gap in the middle. The moment where your customers actually need to make a decision and to contract with you, to agree with you, that's where very often you ask them from the mobile phone, you ask them to say, okay, now you need to download a form, you need to print it, you actually need to sign it, then maybe you scan it and send it back over email. Or worse, you send it with regular mail. Are you coming to a branch? Guess what, I don't always have a network. And that's this gap that the system of agreement is filling. That's this missing link in the digitalization of the full customer experience that these new solutions are filling. So what is it exactly? Well, when you try to model it, it's more than just the electronic signature. We divide it in 4 main phases. It's the preparation of the agreement. How do you, when you capture data from your potential customer, how do you insert that in your agreement? How do you negotiate the agreement? Then it's the actual signing, but the signing is very often just the beginning. Once you've signed, that's where you need to implement, provision the service that you're going to give. And all of these agreements are living animals, They're going to renew, they're going to be expanded. Sometimes they're going to be influenced by new regulations. You'll have to change that. So guess what? A lot of the systems that you have in place today, they've not been built for the speed of today's business. We tend to say that speed is the new currency for business. Well, a lot of these things are slow because they're very often super manual. Think about, when you negotiate an agreement, most of the time, you're basically sending emails over emails with people updating the wrong version of the Word document instead of collaborating online and doing redlining online. I'll talk about sign a little bit later, but basically, once you've signed an agreement, many companies still have people that are basically taking the agreement, taking the contract, looking at the data in the contract, and manually entering data from the contract in their system, in their transactional system. And worse, after a few years, you have a mass of agreements that are either paper-based or, a file in a system somewhere, and you have no clue what's in it, and you're not managing it. And if, there's a new regulation, let's say, on data privacy, you have no way of understanding the potential impact of this new regulation. You're basically paying people to reread the contracts. So that's this cycle that we're managing and that we're digitalizing. And we're starting with the right foundation, which is e-signature, which is generally the first step that you're looking at. And it's the first step because it has a huge impact in your business. People often think of cost saving for electronic signature, and it's true. Every single agreement that you manage manually, you're going to spend 30 euros more than if it was completely digitalized. But I think the real stake is elsewhere. The real stake is on the experience for your customer. You're spending all this effort to have a delightful customer experience from A to Z. You're bringing people in your app, and suddenly you have a break in this experience. You have a break in the digital experience. Think about, and it's not just your customers, think about your candidates. You're trying to attract the best talent. And if suddenly this talent has to wait and send your contract over email, that has a huge impact on their satisfaction. And this impact on the satisfaction has, at the end, an impact on your business itself. The completion rate of your agreement will increase if that process is digitalized. So, DocuSign, we started with the signature, the electronic signature. We are the leader in this space, and we're expanding to all of the 4 other phases. And what we're delivering today is a complete platform to manage your system of agreement, a platform that is unified, that manages 4 phases in a single and unique platform, an integrated platform. And if you follow this presentation, you know that this platform has to be integrated with your other transactional system. And with this DocuSign, we have more than 350 connectors ready to go with all of your major CRM and ERP of the world. So think about this unified platform that will basically complete your customer experience, the digitalization of your customer experience. And if you want to know more about system of agreement, you can go on DocuSign.com, and you can download a white paper that we've written with Jeffrey Moore that tells you all about system of agreement. With that, thank you very much.